beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and I am so happy to see you today. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you and your loved ones are taking care of the best that you can. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic week. We made it through another week, you guys. It is Friday. Woo! So if you have anything fun going on this weekend, let me know down in the comments what you are getting up to. If you don't have anything fun going on this weekend, which I don't think I'm doing anything this weekend. Well, no, I'm not doing anything this weekend. We will make something fun. Let's all put our heads together and come up with something fun for us for this weekend, okay? Something that's going to bring you some joy, something that's going to make you happy, that's just for you, especially right now in the thick of the holiday season. We're doing a lot of things that are not for ourselves right now. We are so focused on everybody else. We're stressing ourselves out. Take a little bit of time just for yourself. Just take some deep breaths. Just to do something that's going to make you happy, bring you a little bit of peace. It can be something just purely relaxational. Relaxational, is that a word? Relaxing? It could be, you know, something over the top. It could be whatever is going to float your boat, what's going to make you happy. It's, you know, so what makes one person happy is not the thing that makes everybody happy. So think about what makes you happy and make a little bit of time this weekend for yourself, just for you to do that. Obviously within your means. Of course, a giant shopping spree of buying everything we want in the world would make most of us happy. But within our means, something free if possible. And Lincoln is coming to join us. So I am here today with day 6 of Vlogmas. Okay, let's try this again, you guys. So Link is trying to just be like the only thing you guys see and knocking over the camera and knocking over everything. So hopefully a little bit of that is salvageable, but if not, then just know that Lincoln came up here to say hello and to visit with you guys. So today is day 6 of Vlogmas. I'm coming on here to hang out with you guys for a little bit, see what you guys are up to. So let me know down in the comments if you are up to anything fun, what kind of crochet projects or knit projects or diamond painting or cross stitching or whatever. Oh, are you home already? No balls.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why he couldn't.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this video is chaotic. I have had to start and stop like 700 times. I'm not even sure what is going to be salvageable of what I have filmed. But anyway, I'm here for Vlogmas Day 6, and I'm using some gingerbread chapstick right now. It is Rudolph themed. It's so cute. Adorbs. Anyway, I am here to hang out with you guys and show you guys what I have been up to. So the last couple of days I was showing you my progress on Spider-Man, which I was using an Impkin pattern from the Crochet Impkins book to make. And then I also showed you guys some scrap yarns that I was like not sure what I was going to do with, and I was kind of like debating between them. And then today is also Friday, which means it is Community Spotlight. So today is the first Community Spotlight that we're having in quite a while, but I picked it back up and we are continuing that segment. So if you have never been here for Community Spotlight, I will let you know what it is really quickly. It is my Friday video. I come on here, I show you guys what I've been up to or whatever it is that I'm going to like talk about in my video. But I also do a segment that's focused on you guys. So you send in your pictures. You can send them in at any point in time, any, you know, day of the week, any time of day, night or day, whatever. Put Community Spotlight in the subject line. You attach your pictures of your progress or your projects to it. And then in the email, the only thing I require you to tell me is your name. So you can say anything else you want. You can tell me like what yarns you used, what I don't keep wanting to say progresses, what patterns you used, anything like that, but you are not required to. The only thing I need to know for sure is your name, because otherwise I can't credit you in the montage. Then I come on and I edit it together. I put together a montage of your guys' pictures, and everybody gets to see what you guys have been up to. A lot of you guys love this segment, whether you like to send in makes or you just like to see what everybody's been up to, get inspiration, or just, you know, have fun fun seeing what everybody else has been up to. So we are back to having it. And I do have a couple of finished blankets that got sent in that will be part of that as well. So when I'm all done showing you guys my stuff, make sure you stick around to see the montage. And if you have a moment, I really appreciate it if you can leave a kind comment about somebody's makes that they sent in for Community Spotlight. It's super, super awesome to be able to see those comments, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have a channel. Maybe you're not used to getting a lot of, attention on your projects. Maybe people in your life don't really get your obsession with crochet. And it's just really cool to come on and be able to kind of show off your stuff to other people who get it, that are in the crochet community, that are going to be as excited as you are about your projects. So today I have to show you guys 2 finished makes. So very good for FO Friday, Finished Object Friday. First things first, I will show you guys the one that you are probably like waiting with bated breath to see. Okay, maybe not, but I'm actually really happy with how it came out. It is the Impkin that I made to look like Spider-Man. So this Impkin I made to look like Spider-Man. I did modify the pattern a little bit. If you wanted to know how I modified the pattern, I talked about it in yesterday's video, but this is based off of the Spider-Man from Spidey and His Amazing Friends. I will pop up a picture of what that Spider-Man looks like over here so that you guys can see kind of the reference, since there are different Spider-Mans and they do look different. Spidey and His Amazing Friends, he has more of a caricature style build to him, and this is what he looks like. So I am so happy with it. I was so nervous about embroidering this spider onto here, and even when I started it, I was like, oh no, this is a train wreck. I can't like embroider this spider onto here. But it actually all came together. It was definitely one of those trust the process moments. About halfway through, I started to be like, okay, maybe I don't hate this spider. So I'm really glad that I went ahead and like went for it, even though I was not confident in my abilities to embroider the spider onto here. And then I did felt for the eyes. So those are the other addition that I've added since yesterday. They're not perfect, but you know what? I cut them out by hand, and that's just kind of how felt happens when I cut it out by hand. And I did use felt that has like an adhesive backing, and then I also hot glued them on too. So when you use hot glue on yarn, it like melts the fibers of the yarn and like binds it together with whatever you're gluing on, especially if it is something like felt. So these will not come off. Like if you ever hot glue felt eyes onto something, do not be worried that they're gonna come off. As long as you glue them on well, they are not coming off. But there we go, guys. I finished him, and I think he came out so cute. I'm so happy with him. And even though I ran out of this red yarn and I had to switch to a different red yarn, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I really don't think you notice it too much, and I don't think it's a deal breaker for the project. So I'm super happy with it. I think he came out so cute. Let me know what you guys think, though. And this was made with the Impkin book, guys. So it just goes to show, with a little bit of color changing, a little bit of creativity, and, modifying patterns a tiny bit, because I really didn't modify it a whole lot. You can just make anything with any pattern, really. Find a pattern that looks kind of like what you want and just run with it. And that's also a really good way, by the way, to practice your pattern writing skills. If you take a pattern and modify it, that's what I've been doing literally since I started crocheting, right from the get-go, because I get bored just following a pattern. I always modify my patterns, and that I think is part of the reason why writing patterns came very naturally to me, because that's just how my brain works, and that's like what I've been doing. So I really recommend that if you're wanting to get into pattern writing, take patterns that already exist and customize them into what you want them to. It'll help you flex that skill of like figuring out how to write a pattern without the pressure of writing it from scratch and sitting there like with a blank piece of paper in front of you trying to like start writing a pattern. It's a good way to get into it. But here he is, and he is made with Parfait chunky yarn and a 5mm crochet hook. And next up, I've got my scrap project. So last I told you guys, I had been planning on making a little scrap yarn house with yarns that I had. I went through my little mushroom bucket that I keep all my little yarn scraps that are like longer than just like a little short piece, but not really long enough to actually do anything with. And I was like thinking about doing a house. I started making the pieces for it, and then I was like, maybe I should make this into a train, because the pieces kind of reminded me of a train, and I was like, ooh, I could make a train scarf. And so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I kind of sat it to the side and was like, okay, I need to like think on this a little bit. Well, I decided to go with the original idea of doing a house. So here's how it came out. I made the pieces and sewed them all together using yarn scraps. I happen to have 3 different little yarn scraps of this one green color. So that's why I was able to get like the roof and one side and the front and the back done with that one. This is double stranded of 2 different yellows, actually 3 different, mustards, because I did part of it and then I ran out of one of them. And so then I did the other part. But like I said, it is double stranded throughout. Same with the snow effect. This is actually a white plush yarn, double stranded with a fuzzy sparkly yarn. And then I ran out of the, plush yarn, so then like this one is made with just the fuzzy sparkly yarn, just this little snow dollop, using up the last little bit of that sparkly plush yarn. So I was able to make some like snow banks around the house, and then this is like a thin kind of mohair. It's a thin fuzzy sparkly green, so I did that kind of for the grass. And I double stranded it with that sparkly fuzzy yarn to make a little wreath to go on the front of the building. And then I got a button out for the doorknob, and I got some little pom-poms, puffballs, whatever you want to call them, and put them on the roof. So most of this is all sewn together. Did a little bit of gluing to add, you know, some of the details. And then what I did was, once I sewed it all together, it was very floppy, and I knew if I stuffed it, it would probably become more of a ball shape than a house shape. So what I did was I took some of these, oh man, I can't remember what this stuff is called. I don't know. I'll link it in the description box. I've talked about it before. I use this sometimes for structure when I'm doing certain crochet projects. It's really, really useful and really cheap, actually. You just get sheets of it and you can cut shapes out of it. So what I did was I cut out the same sizes as these panels and then just glued the 4 corners together and stuck it up inside of the house after I'd already sewn it together. And then I actually stuffed this entire thing with yarn scraps, which you can actually see through the bottom here. This is all stuffed with like a ton of yarn scraps. Like, I stuffed it pretty densely. These were yarn scraps that are too small to use to like crochet with. They're like, I always save all my yarn scraps that are even this big because I'll use them to stuff certain things. For the most part, I use polyfill to stuff things with, but occasionally I'll use yarn scraps. And then I, like this was perfect for yarn scraps. It also makes it a little bit heavier. And then I just glued this onto the bottom, another one of those pieces of whatever this stuff is called that I can't remember. And oh, I tried to cough in my shirt, and instead I picked up my necklace. But anyway, I glued this on, and then I went ahead and added the snow and the grass to kind of create a little section around the house. So that is what I did for my scrap yarn project. So like I said, 2 FOs today. I am going to go ahead and wrap up this part of the video and go into the community spotlight. So like I said, if you've got a minute, make sure you stick around, watch the community spotlight, and drop a comment about something that you see in the community spotlight today. I hope you guys have a beautiful Friday and a great weekend, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys. All right, first up we've got Gail from Gorgeous Homestead on YouTube. She finished her blanket, and she said that round 48 will forever be much etched in her memory because she had quite the fiasco. She ran out of the yarn that she was using in that color, and then she tried to make it work by frogging it back and doing it in a smaller hook, and it still wasn't enough. And she tried altering the stitch count, like doing different stitches, and that didn't work. So she redid this round like 3 times before finally switching to a different yarn. And the final measurement on her blanket was 59 inches across. This blanket came out absolutely stunning, like so gorgeous, and like definitely worth all the work you had to put into it. All right, and then we've got our lovely Diane. She made this beautiful blanket. She's on a crusade to use up all of her yarn scraps, and so she picked these squares from different YouTube tutorials, made this blanket with them. They were like 20-inch squares, so she had to add rounds to them and everything, but that still didn't use up all of her yarn scraps. So she made this blanket with the Apache Tears. I don't know if it's a stitch, if it would be called a stitch or like pattern maybe, and it has like fringe on it and everything, and she said that actually used up a ton of her scraps, but not all of them. And then now she's making a sweater that's making more scraps, so she just can't win. I know that endless cycle, but these are absolutely beautiful scrap creations. And last but certainly not least, we got our final blanket update from Kathy R. She was using the really thin weight yarn with the 3mm hook and making this Easter blanket so stunningly beautiful. She finished her blanket, and she didn't measure across it before putting it up. She forgot to, but oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. That is going to be such a pretty thing to put on your couch at Easter time. Thank you guys so much for sending in your community spotlight makes. Don't forget, guys, we'll have community spotlight again next Friday. So if you want to send in anything, go ahead, and I will see you guys later.